finally, I got to find this path of self-healing. And I learned how to do meditation, and I found a life coach who was able to help me get rid of the eczema. And so this journey has brought me to holistic healing journey. So I learned the body, mind, and soul are all connected. When we have an illness, it is not just in our bodies, it is because it is stored in our minds, in our souls. Okay, so this is what has led me to this path, and I'm here in front of you, and I've learned that the first step to this healing journey was forgiveness and gratitude. We all know we need to be doing this, gratitude and forgiveness. But this was one of the things that completely changed my life. I didn't know that it was holding on to so many grudges, all this stress, all this anxiety up inside me. So I learned that this forgiveness is not just for the other person, but it is for me to learn. And it's not just saying, I forgive you. We have to learn to let go of it from our body because it gets stored. Okay, so let me know, guys, if you've ever had this experience. You get up in the morning and you check your phone and you've got this text message or you got this WhatsApp message from a person that you had an argument with. Maybe a long time ago, maybe a few days ago. And this triggers an emotion instantly in your body. And stress, you start getting stressed out and this screen comes in front of your face, okay? You see that event happening over and over and over. It keeps replaying in your mind. And it's like a movie and you try to get out of that movie, but that scene just doesn't go away because that pain was so vivid and you can just feel it throughout your body. Have you ever any of you guys felt this? Or have you ever experienced this and you're trying to get out of this movie, but it's just stuck with you, okay? And you can't shake it. You try to divert your mind by getting yourself busy. You're trying to work, you're trying to do with the kids, you're with your husband, you're working, whatever. But then you start developing different kind of aches in your body. You have a backache, or you have a headache, or you have a stomach ache, or you have acidity, all these little things. I started developing eczema and I'd start scratching. Every time I'd get anxious, stressful, anxiety would start building up in my body, I'd start scratching. And if you guys, any of you have eczema, you don't want to be going there. Okay, so this is my journey to forgiveness. All right, so let's learn how to do radical forgiveness. So forgiveness is not just an occasional act. It is a permanent attitude. So it's not like we have to do it one time. This is a continuous process and it's not going to just go away like that. It takes years and years maybe because someone has hurt us so badly. It takes a long time for us to let go. Okay, so you guys with me so far? So the things that I learned after improving, after learning how to really forgive myself and forgive the others that have hurt me, it gave me so much energy to be myself. So much energy to be with my family. My health improved. My eczema actually went away. If you guys can see me, alhamdulillah, it's all cleared up and I have not had that traumatic return of the eczema for a very long time, alhamdulillah. Stress levels are down. I'm a much healthier physically I'm healthier now. And I'm moving towards my career, moving towards my goals like never before. I would never have imagined doing this for myself. I never dreamed of it. And as I said, my relationship with my family, my husband, everyone really, really improved. Okay, so true forgiveness is breaking the emotional charge and energetic bond to our painful past. What you're left with instead is a memory. So a memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. So when we get betrayed or we get hurt, there's a lot of pain involved. And this pain occurs in our bodies, and it turns off this internal alarm system. Okay? And because the event is so threatening in our minds and in our bodies, our brain literally freezes. And the brain takes a mental shot. It takes like a snapshot of this event. And that's why we see that movie play in our mind again and again and again. This event neurologically gets embossed in the brain and it leaves like a physical impression in our biology. And it's like a long-term, that is what is called a long-term memory. We cannot erase it from our mind. And it actually gets stored in our body as well. Are we good? Are you guys with me? Yes? Okay. So the side effect is that because of the strength of the emotion, it is so strong, the stress chemicals force us to live in a survival mode. What survival mode is that stress mode, the fight or flight.
Please, Jo, have
your mics on mute, please. Okay, so when we live in the survival mode, we keep reliving and revisiting the memory of the event over and over again because it plays in our mind. And we get stuck in this loop of thinking and feeling. So we think about it, our body doesn't know that it's actually not happening anymore, but every time we think about it, our body reacts to that event as if it's happening again. So physically, we start reacting to it. We get stressed out. The body produces the stress hormones, and it subconsciously is conditioned to be the mind of that emotion. Okay, so this is how the trauma of that event that now lives in the body and the brain. Okay, so when we think about it, it doesn't know that it's the past. When the brain thinks about it, it thinks that it's happening all over again. And those emotions, again, repeat throughout our body. Is this making sense? Okay. So the person's entire state of being, it becomes hardwired and emotionally conditioned to the past. So the body is now conditioned to this emotion and is continuously on the lookout for these emotions. Okay, so that's how we get stuck in the past. So our entire perception of the world becomes based on that particular memory. If we've been betrayed, if we've been hurt, if we failed, even ourselves, we live in that fear that, okay, this thing is going to happen to us again. And we're always on that lookout. We wear those, colored glasses now, thinking we always see the world through those colored glasses. And the body is stuck in the past and will always be connected to that story. Okay, so this is really, really powerful to understand that the events that plays in our mind are actually stored in the body. And we need to learn to make that a memory and remove the emotional charge that is connected with that memory. It can stay in memory, but we don't want the emotional charge with it. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So what happens to our body when we get stuck in this negative pattern? We talked about this, that the stress hormone, the stress response is activated and cortisol is released in our body. The side effect is that because of the strength of emotion, the stress chemical forces us to live in survival mode. And this is how the trauma lives in the body. Okay, so your body doesn't forget. Your body doesn't forget those emotions. Just think back. When you were a child and your mother used to make those really, really nice pancakes, for example, okay, or she used to make bread in the morning. I remember when my mother used to make bread in the morning when I used to get up in the morning. And that whenever I smell that fresh baking of bread, it brings me back to those memories of my mother in the kitchen when I was a child. The same way when we hear a song or we smell something or we taste something, it brings back memories, right? So negative memories can be stored like this as well. Even if we see somebody, that emotional charge is activated and it brings back a lot of memories, a lot of emotions. Okay, so we don't want those negative emotions be stuck in our body. Okay, let me tell you a little story about a story of a heart transplant. This is really interesting. Um, it's in a book by Claire Sylvia, and the book's name is Change of Heart. This lady got a transplant, heart transplant of a young man. He was like 18-year-old boy, and he had a motorcycle accident. And this lady had the heart transplant of this 18-year-old young boy. And after the transplant, she started getting cravings of beer and having snacks and all these manly kind of foods. And so she went to the doctor and she did some research and she figured out that those emotions, those things were stored in that boy's body, right? All the cravings and stuff that were in his heart, and that got transplanted into her heart. And we've all heard the story of the water and how when we say salawat and we pray into the water and we drink the water, it blesses us. It's about the intention, right? And how it can be stored in the body. So everything can be done intentionally. All right? Okay, so let's go ahead and begin to talk. I just want to go back and talk about the stress, what can stress do to our bodies. And I talked a little bit about what it was doing to me, but we have heartaches, heartburn, headaches, risk of heart attack, missed periods, fertility problems, weakened immune system, high blood pressure, and there's a lot of things that are due to stress. And one of the reasons is that we are not able to break free from our past. So let us learn to separate the emotions attached to the memory. Okay, we want to separate. We want that memory. We may want that memory. It's going to be difficult to remove the memory, but to attach, to just detach from the emotions. Okay, that is what we're talking about, radical forgiveness. So the first thing is feel versus repress. Don't escape the feeling. When something happens in our life, we sometimes just shut down. We don't want to talk about it. We become very quiet. Um, we disconnect with people and even disconnect from our own feelings. So, pain, anger, resentment, rage. Understand the emotions. What are you exactly feeling? You may go forward in your life, but you're stuck in that past. And the pain, the past, the pain of the past still resides inside you. You know, when you say that I'm sick to my stomach, it is actually because that pain is inside. It gets stored in different parts of our body. Okay, so couple of powerful things that you can do to feel these emotions is what I like to do is journaling. Just sit down. I just find a quiet place and I ask powerful questions to myself. So, why is this triggering me? Why is this making me angry? How am I actually feeling? Give yourself 30 minutes and just write whatever that comes into mind. And when you pen down on a piece of paper, you bring clarity to your mind and you're looking at it from a bird's eye view. And you separate yourself from those emotions and you think, oh, this was silly of me to think, or there's no real reason that I'm getting upset about this. Okay, so how many of you tried journaling? Yeah, Tasimin, have you tried? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm like talking to the screen here only to see. All right, okay. All right. Another thing you can do is talk about it with someone. If it's something like you're backbiting about that person, you don't want to do it. But if it's just letting your emotions out, it's sometimes really nice to just, let it out. Talk to someone makes you feel better. Get the energy out of the body. This is so important. And if you guys have any tricks, do teach me as well. But I have this pillow of mine, okay? It's really tough and it's really hard. And I just punch that pillow to get that energy out of my body, right? And it's really important that we don't keep it inside of us. Go out into an empty field, an empty garden, or wherever you can find, and scream, yell, do whatever you need to do to get those emotions, get those energy out of your body. And you must process the emotion. Okay, so don't repress it, you want to express it. All right, understand versus judge. Okay, don't label a person as bad. Okay, oh, that person is bad. He has no idea what he is terrible, he's horrible, and we think of all these things. But let us try, if we step back and we try to understand them and give them the benefit of doubt. Okay, maybe that person had a really tough day. Maybe he's going or she's going through a divorce. Maybe she's having a financial crisis. Maybe her health is really bad, or something is going on in the background that she just had to let out the energy somewhere else, and that happened to be you. So everyone is behaving according to their own personal reality. Just like we have our own personal reality, the story that we've created, our past is the way that they're seeing the world around them, right? And that's the way they see the world as working. And they are stuck in their own pains and their own beliefs. So we have to just step back and not think of it that it's a personal attack, and try to forgive them. Okay? This is a really hard one, but see if you guys can try this. I tried, I'm not so good at this. Communicate versus condone. This is really good with your husbands. Do try this out, okay? Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. It takes a lot of bravery and leadership, and this builds intimacy between yourselves. Tell them how you feel. If you have an argument with your husband, with your mother-in-law, with your child, whatever, you need to sit down, make a point to tell them how you feel and to get it out of your system. If you just try to ignore it and think that things will just get better, get better, get better, they don't know how you feel unless you talk to them. Okay, they may feel bad, but it's important that they start understanding you as well. And this way, they will respect you more. Okay, if you can't do it, write a letter to them, write a little note to them, see if that helps. Okay, all right, release versus release and set them free. Okay, this is a really powerful one. I teach especially in my one-on-one sessions, and we go deep in this one-on-one sessions. But declutter your surroundings, your mind, and this is thorough cleaning your mind, body, and soul. Okay, so I start telling them to what I do is I clean my house. I clean my emails, I delete all my messages, I get rid of actually have to cut ties even in my relationships. That I know that when this person calls me up is going to make me feel bad. So I try to avoid those conversations, avoid those people. When you declutter all those things, get rid of all the things that remind you of that person, all the things that trigger those emotions, clothes, old things that you have in your house. This stores energy. When you let these things go, it brings space to our hearts and to our homes. for more. Another thing is deep belly breathing. Okay, throughout the day, just notice that when you get up in the morning, you have to get your kids up for school, or you have to get your husband ready, or whatever that thing that you're doing, you're just on the go, run, 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 run. You have to cook, you have to clean, you have to do this, 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 this. And you don't even realize that you are not breathing properly. Okay, so I want you to just put your hand on your stomach and see how that makes you feel. Just stop. When you get a little stressed out, when you're anxious, just stop and take deep breaths. And this will instantly, take 10 deep breaths, and this will instantly get you aligned again and a little more relaxed. And you can see from a more perspective. Box breath. That is Anunam Vinam. If you guys have heard of that, you breathe in through one nostril, 5, hold for 5, let go for 5. They call it the box breath. You breathe in for 5, hold for 5, and again, let go for 5. Okay, and this really, like, you have to put a timer, and when you're stressed out, you should do this more. When you don't have time, you should be doing this more for yourself. Okay, get up 1 hour earlier than your kids, your husband, and do this for yourself. I started yoga, and it completely changed my way of life. You should definitely try this. Okay, meditation, you guys have all heard. We don't have too much time, but I just want to tell you some of these techniques that really, really helped me. And in the meditation, I do tasbih. We chant, right? So each tasbih is each breath, and that really calms down the system. Just tell yourself to relax. Allah bi zikrillah tatma'innul qulub. You breathe out and you breathe in. You say each tasbih every time you are chanting. Okay, 90-second rule. This is my favorite. I'm still perfecting on this, okay, ladies? So 90-second rule is that when that mind starts spinning in those negative emotions, you look at the watch and you say, okay, I have 90 seconds to stop thinking about this. Okay, stop thinking about this. 90 seconds. If you can work for the 90 seconds, you're good. That's training your mind to get those connections stronger. Because you're used to thinking in that spinning and that negative emotions. You're used to that every single day because you're thinking about it every single day. But when you break that, it's training your brain muscles. If you give it a system like 90 seconds, look at the watch, say, okay, I have exactly 90 seconds to stop thinking about this and do something else. Okay, and slowly your brain will start coordinating with you, and you will be able to get out of the spinning. How does it sound, ladies? I don't know if you guys can hear me properly, and am I communicating well? You guys getting me? Are we good? Okay, I think I missed. Okay. Okay, the main thing is forgiving ourselves. We're forgiving everyone else, but there are things that in our past, we go back and feel that, oh, I didn't do this, and I'm bad, I'm this, I'm not good enough, all these things that we think about. I'm not thin enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not, I'm not strong enough, I'm not brave enough, whatever. Forgive yourself for all the things that have happened in the past. None of us are perfect. And when someone causes us pain, we too cause them pain, right? We don't know how much pain we've caused that person. But it's as if our hearts get twisted together. And it's important that we break free from that as well. So I like to journal, I forgive myself for, and you go ahead and list all the things that you forgive yourself for. As if that small little girl is in front of you. You are in front of you. That small girl is crying, who needs that love, who needs that attention. How would you hug her? How would you comfort her? What would you say to her? Okay? I want to end this. We've got another 10 minutes, but I want to give you guys this. This is really special to me. And I do this only with my private clients. We're going to do an NLP technique that is really, really powerful and that will really help you, inshallah, to break free from that emotions. Okay? So your subconscious mind doesn't know if you are imagining the scene or if it is actually a reality. Okay? It happened in the past, but whenever we think about it, we think it is actually, the body actually thinks it is happening now. So when we close our eyes, okay, I want you to just close your eyes and just hear my voice. I want you to close your eyes and imagine that particular event, that particular scene in your life that you were very, very hurt. There was a lot of pain. And every time you think about it, you get emotionally triggered. It hurts you. It makes you cry. Okay? Just see that picture as if it's like a movie screen in front of you. I'm sure you can see that picture. It's bright, it is very colorful, it is very loud in your mind's eye. Okay? Now I want you to imagine there's 3 knobs right at the bottom of that screen. You're going to turn one knob to the right, all the way to the right, and you're going to turn this picture into a black and white screen. Okay? You no longer see any colors to this event. It is completely turned black and white. Okay, there's another knob. You're going to turn that knob, and the voices have also dimmed down. It's almost muted. You cannot hear any voices to this event either. Now, the last knob is a really fun knob. You get to turn that knob and you can distort the picture any way you want. You can make that person's head like a cartoon. You can make that person's ears like a bunny rabbit's ears. You can blow up their face. You can make them into a tiny little ball. Anything that would distort this picture in front of your eyes. Now I want you to slowly make this picture smaller and smaller and smaller in your mind's eye. And you want to make it so small that you can almost like crunch it up into a little ball and just throw it out of your life. I set you free. You no longer hold any emotions in my body. You don't have to do this a couple of times. You know, whenever you see that screen, I want you to close your eyes and try to do this thing. Okay? Make it fun for you. You know, make the sounds different, making them the squeaky voice, make it like a cartoon kind of voice, make the voices very high or very low, whatever you need to do to distort that image in your mind. And slowly you will realize that whenever you think back at it, you won't be able to remember how that made you feel. And inshallah, it will make you feel free of those emotions and it will stop it from being so emotional. Life is fun. Life is short. So why live in the past? Let's live in the present. And this is our gift. We want to free ourselves from all those negative, all those baggage and move forward in our life and create the future that we've always dreamed of. How many want to create a future, that you've always dreamed of? No one, you want to succeed, you want to do everything you've ever wanted to do. But every time you think about that past, you get stuck in those emotions and it doesn't let you move forward. Okay, so let me just tell you about my work and what I do. Sorry, guys, we got a little cut off. Are we good? Can you guys hear me still? Somebody tell me if you can hear me. Hello? Are we here?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, all right. So let me just tell you about my work and what I do. As I told you, I'm a mindset coach, and I have a 6-week program. This is just one little snippet of what we do in the work. This is a one-on-one coaching sessions for 6 weeks. This is 1 hour every single week. We get homework. We get really crystal clear on your goals. What do you want to achieve in your life? We break the barrier of all the limiting beliefs, the fears, the doubts, and we go deep down and dive into radical forgiveness and gratitude practice. And we learn to tap into that subconscious mind. This was just one of the NLP techniques that I taught you, that we learn lots of many tools that you can implement into your life. And we move forward with unshakable confidence to make your dreams a reality and not just be a dream. That one day I will do this for myself, or for my children, for my family. Learn to be unstoppable. So, my special gift to all the attendees, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. It's been a real great pleasure. I will be offering a special discount for all the people that have attended today. And I want to thank you all once again for showing up. I want to ask you, what did you find most helpful in this short workshop? If you guys could share with me, it would be awesome.
Tasneem, I could relate with many of your points. I think the one way what you told that journaling, I also do many times when I feel some uh, things, some fights or something. Especially, I want to tell that when I was newlywed, at that time I faced many such issues, and I used to write about it and then analyze about it, that what was wrong I was doing, or how can I deal with this. And so I think I have overcome overcame this through writing only.
Yes, yes.
Some more points how I can deal with this stress and all. And the last one was very means I could I was picturizing all those things you were saying, and yes, we could do this and make ourselves feel more means positive and funny also it was at the end what you told, how we can make that memory shorten and just bounce it like a ball.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Taslim Ben, thank you. Zainab Ben, Rashida Ben, thank you so much. Nafiya Ben, thank you. Arwa Ben, Alefia Ben, Farzana, thank you so much for all joining. Husseina Ben. All right, do leave me a feedback. I would love to know, and inshallah, we'll keep in touch. Okay, thank you all.